Someone made the rule and I have to respect the rules. Not every time, but this time I have to. For the last 11 months, I'm in Himalayas. Within my capacity, spending time with nature, within my capacities, ensuring that I'm not speaking, ensuring I'm not meeting people, so I can look beyond the rules which have been given to me since childhood and create my own rules to live, which we all deserve. But why that happened? To understand that why, we need to understand the subtle difference between thinking and watching. Are you watching or thinking at this point of time? How do you find that in your mind? It's very easy to do that. In case if you are thinking that why I'm wearing what I'm wearing and what I'm wearing is not meant for boys, then that's thinking. But if you're just watching me, then it's watching. Just like a monkey sitting in the mountains or on the tree, just watching, not thinking. Because when we think, the rights and the wrongs and the agrees and the disagrees and yes and the no's, and there's too much of conflict there in thinking. But when we are watching, everything is beautiful. So for next few minutes, I just want you to watch, not think, not make a concept out of it. It's all started because of this tiny little virus called COVID. We were doing extremely well in our life in Mumbai. And suddenly COVID has created impact at various levels. But one impact COVID created is on money, especially those who are entrepreneurs. COVID is like a dam for the money flow. Suddenly there was a big dam and money stopped flowing. And if you're an entrepreneur, money stopped flowing, then you become restless. I became restless. My wife became restless. My son became restless. And I could not able to manage that violence in my life, and I started searching for silence. And I decided to leave everything. I had this beautiful girl in my life. I saw her when she was 17. I spoke to her on one day morning. I said, it's enough, I have to leave. And because we are friends first, then husband and wife, and now ex-husband and ex-wife, I'm so happy that she was in the position to understand what's going in my mind. But I was super happy when even my son understood when I started or when I decided to leave the city. And last 11 months, took everything in my bag within my capacity and just walking in search of only one thing: peace, silence, the sigh of relief. Is there anything more important than this in our life? And I found in Himalayas. Himalayas gave me an opportunity to revisit my life, revisit the rules and the concept which is given to me since childhood. Let's discuss a few concepts today. The first concept I would like to discuss today is the concept of tears. I remember the first time I cried in my life, I was 5 years old. I was in the KG, the first day in the school. And there were a few kids who were laughing, few kids were maybe talking, and few kids were started learning and started reading books. And there was one boy or one girl who was always cry. That was me. I was just crying. And someone said, hey, don't cry. Someone complained, hey, don't cry. I never understood. I said, the way I laugh, I cry. Why are you making the rule? You will decide when I will cry, when I will not cry. Then soon I realized that there is a manual given to me in this life. Sit like that. Stand like that. My father was in the army, very angry man, very responsible, but very angry man. He was so angry when I was wearing shoes. I had that fear, that thought in my mind, if I wear the shoes wrong, if I don't tie my laces, I will get a slap. The rules. All my life I had just rules. So I decided to surrender all the rules of my life, go in the mountain, and redefine my relationship with myself. I don't care about anything else. Why should I? I have only one life. The phrase which is so commonly used and sometimes insulting, but the truth. Only one life. And I have no idea when it's going to end. Come on. There are so many people, they sleep in the night and they don't get up in the morning. What should I do with your rules? I don't have a permission to grow my hairs because I'm a boy. I don't have a permission to wear the clothes because I can't wear the girls' clothes because I'm a boy. Come on. So with this limited time, let me share some rules which I've created for myself. The first rule. The rule of crying. The water inside. If I cry, if someone comes to me and they say, don't cry, I said, why? What's wrong with crying? That is a simple emotion. One of the best cries I have seen in my life is like I was sitting in the bus, my head outside the bus, music, and I'm crying, just crying. And for a moment I thought that maybe the person who's coming from behind might not start the wiper. It was so loud cry. Just kidding. One of the best cries I had in my life is like I sitting next to the river and just my mouth inside the water and the water flowing with the water. And I felt so light. Only because of one reason. No one is stopping me from crying. Something which is my biological need. What kind of rules we have? So I've created a rule, one rule. I will cry if I want to cry. I will laugh if I want to laugh. That's my rule. Another rule I've created is about this very dangerous word which is really changing the lives of so many people. That's fear. Rule for the fear. But what do you mean by fear? Have you ever thought about it? What is fear, by the way? Someone suggested to me, Praveen, why don't you stay in the mountains alone? And then I just pitched my tent in the mountain and I was inside the tent and suddenly the thought came in my mind that is there a tiger outside? Is there an animal outside? A thought with the fear. Then I made my rule that I will fight the tiger if the tiger is outside the tent. How many thoughts we have? Do you know there is a state of mind where there is no thoughts in your mind, no questions in your mind, no curiosity in your mind, and you are just watching, nothing else, just watching. But there is a problem. When you are in the city, and if you watch, there is violence. There is greed. There are dreams and aspirations which might affect your peace. It is so unfortunate for me that after spending 40 years on the planet Earth, within my capacity, I tried my best to mingle with human beings. Within my capacity, I tried my best to build good relationship with human beings. But I failed. I completely failed. They're so fickle, they're so weak. And then I realized that the last thing on which I should focus upon is to building a relationship with human beings, then I fall in love with nature. In solitude, I started building relationship with water. Water is my sister now. I started building relationship with stones. Stone is my brother now. So if I'm walking in the mountain, if I slip, I will say, hey, naughty sister, naughty brother. And when I speak with them, they don't give me advices, they don't give me rules. They don't tell me what to wear and what not to wear. They just absorb. Just a few days ago when I was speaking with my ex-wife and she was completely broken because of XYZ reason, because of not our relationship. And she said, Praveen, for the first time in your life, you listen to me as if the mountain is listening to me or the river is listening to me, not giving any advices, not giving any suggestions. Why we give advices? Why we give suggestions to people? There's so many whys. Why parents, they invest their time, energy, money, resources on kids, and the most important decisions of their life, they interfere, they give advices. Why? I decided to leave all this why, surrender all, everything, and I found my peace. Before I leave from here, I would like to just share one thing with you guys, the boys and the girls and the sirs and the madams and the ladies and the gentlemen. The next time when you use this word or the phrase, there's only one life, remember that's a truth. And in this life, the most important thing is how you build a relationship with yourself first, with your biological needs, with your body, with your smile, the way you look. As a child, I have been told that I look very ugly. When I conceived, when I was in my mother's womb, my dad was in the army, he was traveling outside, he has 11 sisters and brothers, he used to send money every month, but very little. My mother used to cry for even a half cup of milk. On the other hand, my brother, when she conceived my brother, she was with my dad in the army, abundance of food. So there's a huge difference between the way my brother looked, the way I look. And throughout the childhood, it's like, I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly. Who are you to tell me whether I'm ugly or beautiful? It's my relationship with myself. So I've stopped taking any advices in my life. I've stopped giving any advices to my life, to anyone in my life. You speak to me, I will listen to you as if the nature is listening to me or to you. One thing which has really redefined my life, which has really helped me to build a good quality conversation, not only with people, also with the nature, is the way I look towards conversation and the way I look towards communication. 6 years ago, I fell in love with communication, and this one skill has completely redefined my life. I never thought that I would communicate with the trees and the water and the sun and the moon, the way I communicate. And I realized that they really communicate. But we are so busy in our life with our dreams, with our aspirations. We are not looking for that peace. We are not looking for that conversation with the nature. It's beautiful. It's real. It's magical. I remember for the first time, I was in the mountain alone. For the first time in my life, I heard this absolute silence. It sounds like this. That's the sound coming from the universe. Absolute no disturbance. Nothing. No one is speaking, birds are not chirping, no one is doing anything. There's only the silence. And when you have the reference of that silence in your mind, then if you really want to become silent in your life, you know what is the reference of silence. It took me almost 40 years to reach that silence which was possible only without human beings. When I started speaking with the plants and the trees, they asked me a question that who created this plastic pot? Can't you apply the mind that we can't breathe in plastic? When I started speaking with the river, they started speaking with me that, hey, why you are putting all this garbage in us? Can't you just maintain the silence and the peace and the cleanliness here? When I started speaking with the lightning, they started guiding me. They started giving me yes and the no's with all the difficult decisions of my life. Life is magical. If you believe in magic, ladies and gentlemen. But for that, you have to live. Live everything. Especially the manual which has been given to you. Do this, do that, wear this, wear that, marry a girl, marry a boy, have a child. I have surrendered that manual. My life is full of magic. Suddenly I started dancing. I never used to dance in my life. Mountains gave me dancing. When I was walking on the mountains, when I was walking on the boulders, that's dancing. I never used to sing in my life. I learned singing from birds chirping. Life is really beautiful and magical. Let's not do small, small aspirations and dreams and this love only for people. Only for people. Which is so-called self-declared God, or sometimes for so many years of my life I used to feel that we are the creator of this planet Earth. We are no honor. We are zero, nothing. We are nothing in front of nature. All the concepts I surrender. The concept of time I surrender. We are timeless. The measurement of the time, the seconds and the hours, and I surrender. I've seen 80 years old or 85 years or 90 years old ladies doing techno in Himalayas. The truth, the magic, but only when you surrender the rules and the manual. Sometimes people ask me that, Praveen, why you do that? Do you don't love people? Does that matter? Are the people only species on the planet Earth to be loved? Not at all. I have fallen in love with this planet Earth. I love the air. I love the music. I love the dogs and the cats and the moons and the stars and everything. So my love is not this much, only for human beings. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sirs and madams, there are two ways of living life. Either you follow the manual given to you, or create your own manual. Create your own rules. Then the life is magical. Thank you.